for the courage of a conqueror. So take a deep breath and dare to believe it. I know you don't see it all, but I see you could be anything that you want. Up to the stars, raising the bar, giving it everything that you got. And if you fall down, yeah, you're gonna jump from the ground. Oh, I know you don't see it all, but I see you were rather mighty as a rock, mighty as a rock, mighty as a rock, mighty as a rock.
We are at the Netball World Youth Cup here in Gibraltar 2025. Quarter-final number 3 about to get underway. Australia, one of the favourites for the tournament. They will play Jamaica. Jamaica finished second in Pool C. Australia finished first in Pool B. And they clash here with a chance to go through to the semi-final tomorrow. They will play the winner of South Africa and the Cook Islands. That match is yet to come. 2 quarterfinals down. This is quarterfinal number 3. Andrew Tetley joined by Kath Tetley. Pleasure to have you with us, Kath. How do you see this one playing out?
Look, it is going to be an absolutely fabulous afternoon. I am giddy with excitement. You are not a real Netty fan, Andrew, if you do not love a little bit of Aussie versus Jamaica. They are just special to watch. They are creative, they have flair. The Aussies have got speed and precision. Bring it on.
Bring it on, we say, and momentarily we will have a look at the 2 starting lineups, and as the game goes on we'll talk about how they've made their way here. For Australia and head coach Kathy Fellows, assistant coaches Jenny Borlays and Kate Upton. Olivia Wilkinson starts at goal shooter, Lily Graham at goal attack, Hope White at wing attack, Sophie Casey the captain starts at centre, Lucy Vojdovich starts at wing defence, Tabitha Packer goal defence, Charlotte Sexton at goalkeeper for Jamaica and their head coach Annette Daly, assistant coach Nadia Hanson-Graham, Azara Wilmot at goal shooter, Nikisha Powell at goal attack, Tori Akinrinola at wing attack, Shaquan Hamilton at centre, Deandra Edwards at wing defence, Evelyn Smith at goal defence, their captain Roxana McLean is at goalkeeper. Tanya Fink and Sasha McLeod, the umpires. And we'll have a look at the bench players for each team. For Australia, we're going to see Kayla Graham on the bench, Jasmine Hayward, Scarlett Jauncey, Freddie Schneiderman, Grace White sitting on the bench, will not take part tonight, still out with concussion protocols. For Jamaica, Jessica Chaplain, Kadeen Gordon, Fantonian Henry, Tiana Reid and Jada Ricketts make up their bench. And at this stage of the tournament, Kath, benches will certainly play their role and they will be of some importance.
Yeah, I think we've seen that all day today. It is midway through tournament. Bodies are getting tired, but they're also looking to make sure that they know what they need to consolidate. The earlier games today were really interesting. Every quarter there was almost pretty significant changes for both teams. So it's I don't expect there to be much difference for this afternoon.
Talk about how each team has made their way to this point. But special good morning, good evening, early good morning to where you might be watching here in the world at 10 a.m. in Kingston, Jamaica. So maybe some late breakfast or some brunch viewing for you in the Caribbean. 2 a.m. in Australia on the eastern seaboard. Midnight if you're in Perth. So hope you've got up early or stayed up late. See the final introductions of players taking part out here. Lots of experience in this Australian lineup, and we'll cover some of that as we go. 4 times these 2 teams have met in Netball World Youth Cups. The last of those occasions was in 2005. And Australia got the victory on that occasion, 61 goals to 44. 4-0 in those individual matchups. We'll see how this one pans out tonight. Mentioned our umpires Tanya Fink, Sasha McLeod, Corey Nichols, the reserve. And we are moments from getting underway. There is a large contingent of Australian and Jamaican supporters and a number of neutral supporters here tonight. So good to see some Gibraltar locals and also some South African and Cook Islands fans getting in early before their quarterfinal, which follows. But we've got 60 minutes of netball to come here before we even worry about that. And Lily Graham gets us underway and goes straight to Hope White. And that one goes straight through Hope White's hands, in fact. So, although she's bailed out by Tabitha Packer, but only momentarily. And I feel like I say it at the start of every one of these quarterfinal matches, Kath, but nerves certainly play a role, don't they?
They do. And the warm-up, I think, was really interesting. It was maybe a little patchy from both teams. I mean, there was some good movement, some good ball speed, but it wasn't everybody. There were a few drops tonight. So maybe they can start smelling the end of the week and what's to come.
Certainly the tournament doesn't end with a loss here tonight, but a chance of playing in the medal rounds does. So there is plenty at stake here tonight, and Packer again, who's been so impressive throughout the tournament, primarily at that goal defence position, comes out hunting early, and contest there against the Zara Wilmot, but wins that battle. First couple for Jamaica, a good start for them. Here's Lily Graham and combines with Wilkinson. A little fumble on that one again, and just tries to establish position right in front of the hoop there, and White looks her off, and the contact will go against Evelyn Smith. Another opportunity for Wilkinson, and drops this one in, and first goal for the Aussies. Smith again, and Shaquan Hamilton at centre. She's going to be very, very busy against Sophie Casey, the Australian captain. Certainly any particular matchups, Kath, that you're looking forward to paying close attention to?
I really like what's happening in the mid-court already. You know, if they can just keep control, particularly in the early minutes, you know, both teams have got sets of tall, strong, holding shooters. Actually, I really like the footwork of both teams. Goalkeepers, they're feisty, they're getting around. Clearly, it's going to be a bit of a battle there at the back. So it doesn't look like there's going to be sort of necessarily a style of play from both, because they're just really feeling each other out here. I mean, there's the footwork I'm talking about. That's really impressive from Jamaica.
Circle combination. Evelyn Smith and Roxana McLean are making life very difficult for the Australian attacking end early doors, but
yeah, McLean's feet are just fabulous, right? And if she can maintain that, constantly asking the question, the feeders will really struggle.
Shaquan Hamilton has that ball moved up, so still a 1-goal lead for Jamaica. Shaquan Hamilton again goes back to Evelyn Smith. Plenty of the ball early on, and Deandra Edwards is looking to go back, and that pass is a little Australian. Momentarily got 2 balls on the court. We'll wait and we'll play on. Here comes Packer and White. Vidic, and I know I said that wrong the first time, so apologies to Lucy. Practiced that 3 times prior and still mucked it up. Vidic. Another opportunity here for Lily Graham. Steps in, a little firm. Anyone's off the rim. First touch rocks on a McLean, but stays with Australia and eventually ends up in the hands of Wilkinson, and we're knotted up at 3 goals apiece. Another centre pass for McLean, and White had very, very fast feet then. I thought almost too fast, but clearly too fast for my old vision. But tell us a little bit about Hope White, Kath.
I think I have to come clean. I have coached the delightful Hope White. She has been an absolute gun in the last couple of years, but she's had a really special time making her way into the lineup for the Giants in the Suncorp Super Netball in Sydney. And you know, if you really just want to entertain yourself tonight watching this game, just have a watch of that battle. Her release of the ball and her timing is really pinpoint. And the thing that's really cool about Hope is it's not standard. She's creative, and she'll do a little bit of lefty and righty on you. So she's definitely one to watch and enjoy the show.
Keep an eye on her, but in the meantime, there's a fast down-court movement for Jamaica. Zara Wilmot finishes the job and taking a single backward step here, and it's been a little patchy from the Aussie attacking end, just primarily between Wilkinson and Graham. Just a couple of little fumbles coming back to haunt them, and shot goes out of bounds, and it will be Rinlin Lola, beg your pardon, that takes the inbounds pass and results in another goal for Wilmot. So positive start for her. Knotted up 5 goals apiece, 6 minutes in. The centre pass for Casey and Graham and White and Wilkinson and White again. Obstruction this time on Roxana McLean, the captain. She has 2 senior caps for the Sunshine Girls. Senior experience for her. Here they come again through Akinrinola, and I was going to say that was taken out of Wilmot's hands, and she'll get the free shot. Charlotte Sexton it is that stands out and leaves the defending for Packer, and goal for goal here at the moment, Kath, and Jamaica are doing plenty right. You've mentioned their footwork already. What do you like about the way that they're stringing their passing together?
Yeah, it's really nice. They're seeing each other really well. So that last passage of play, it's just given really nice timing early. And I think that is part of the key when you're playing in Australia. They are fast. So if you give them a chance to be too organised or to be too set up on their one-on-one, you won't be able to get the pass away without there being some pretty decent body clashes. So do your mate a favour and see the release and let it go. And then that way, just like Jamaica did before, a really nice direct post.
Lily Graham gets that one to go off the turnover. So chance for Australia to put a few together in a row here. And Lily Graham, of course, fresh off those Melbourne Vixens becoming premiers in the Suncorp Super Netball 2025, and lots of experience on that domestic stage, and going to need all of that here tonight based on what we're seeing early on from Jamaica. They're well and truly up for the challenge, and I think when you come into a game, Kath, when you are the underdog, it's important to start well, isn't it? Because you don't want to be in that real chase position right from the get-go.
Yeah, but I also don't mind just the idea of just stay in touch. Let's see how the first 15 minutes feel. Stay in touch. Show them that you're not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden people go, oh, it's a bit disappointing. We'd just really like to bust this game open really early. No, and Jamaica is saying no. Not today, thank you. We are going to ride really strongly onto ball. And to me, it looks like they're going to go for it for this, at least the first 15.
Certainly are. That one, unfortunately for them, though, sails out over the baseline, and it's going to give the Aussies another opportunity to come steaming down the court. And it's White and Packer, Graham and Wilkinson and White combining. So fast ball movement, and from 6-all, all of a sudden it's 11-7. So
I think sorry, Andrew, I was just going to say, in terms of the ball speed, there is that. but it's also just what they do in behind it. They're releasing it, and they're really getting early steps on. So the defenders have to do so much work to then not only do the hands over, they've got to block on the next. So it'd be important for that to sort of come into action here.
Vojvidic again, timing perfect on that contest, and another gain for her team. Of course, Vojvidic hailing from Adelaide, a Thunderbirds training partner in 2025, so in and around that professional training environment through the week, so a lot of experience for her. Almost held ball, comes to Shaquan Hamilton in the end, and another great take, Wilmot. And the feed from Nikisha Powell was right in the exact right spot. It did not give Charlotte Sexton a chance to jump at it. She converts another, and she's done the bulk of the scoring for the Jamaicans so far, Wilmot. Contact this time against Evelyn Smith, just on the left baseline. And Lily Graham converts that one. 13 plays 8. Just over 4 minutes remaining till the first break. No changes for either side yet. Happy to continue to run with how they started. Well, Charlotte Sexton this time gets up. Timed her leap at that very nicely. Here's Casey and White. Graham again, little look away to Wilkinson, and then goes back to Graham. They've got the combination worked out now, do Wilkinson and Graham, and real momentum riding with Australia here at the moment. That lead has opened up to 6, and they're looking to make it 7, and in the blink of an eye it's in Wilkinson's hands again, and indeed it is 7. So, a few danger signs here for the Jamaicans, and they need to respond. Did Powell to keep it in, but only got it as far as White. Just that little delay in the Hope White delivery, doesn't it? She just waits for the defender to go by. That's what you were talking about, Kath, with the timing.
Clever. Very clever. And look, credit to Hope on what she's seeing, but also Lily Graham there. One of my favourite things, a goal attack that's prepared to play goal defence effectively. She just played such strong, hard defence there. She hustled, got ball back, got the tip, did the job.
Okay, so lead has ballooned out to 9. See if Jamaica can find a response here. Here's Evelyn Smith. And Tori Akinrinlon-Lola. That one's a little short this time from Wilmot, but we retain possession here, Jamaica. Beautiful shot this time, Nikisha Powell. So needed that one, did Jamaica, and she answered the call.
That one wasn't easy either. There was an Australian absolutely reaching, blocking, riding the space to try and stop that, and Jamaica finished that off really well.
Talking about finishing off well, Wilkinson does again, and White's quarterbacking this offense at the moment. She just led her to the open space there beautifully. Tiniest little head nod. Picks up a contact on this occasion. Did very well for a moment, did Wilmot, but it's falling out of bounds and only come as far as Australia. And here they come again. Tucker, White, Wilkinson ends up with Lily Graham and doesn't like that spot. And Wilkinson will like that spot instead, right under the basket, and in it goes. After being 6-all, it is now 19 goals to 9. So Australia flexing their muscle here in the latter stages of the first quarter as we go under a minute remaining. Well, that one, luck's a fortune, isn't it? When things are going your way, rather than sailing out of bounds, that hit the post and came right back into Olivia Wilkinson's lap. Keisha Powell off the break this time, goes back to Smith. And Edwards, Smith again. Oh, that pass just didn't have enough pep on it and just floated out of her hand and out over the sideline. And with 30 seconds remaining till quarter time, plenty of time here for another goal or two. Contact here against Deandra Edwards, taken by White, and good positioning Wilkinson on that occasion. Tick down, let's see how we play out this centre. A little bit of professional time wasting from Sophie Casey. Let's see if she can milk it effectively. She can. That will take us to the quarter time break. Withering burst by the Australians, 21 goals to 9. Kath.
Well, I have been proven wrong here. They didn't get a chance to stay in touch, but they did for half of it. So they've done well for midway through the first quarter.
All right, plenty of time left though in this one. Quarterfinal number 3. Australia's opening quarter, 21 goals to 9 over Jamaica. Stay with us, quarter number 2 coming up after this very short break. Welcome back to the Netball World Youth Cup in Gibraltar 2025. Quarter final number 3. First quarter was very even in the opening exchanges, and then Australia hit the turbo button and pulled away, and a 21 goals to 9 lead. Have a look at what's coming up. This is Australia, Jamaica, South Africa and the Cook Islands to follow. Of course, up at Tercentenary Sports Hall later tonight, Samoa and Tonga. If you are able, make sure you catch that one as well, because the atmosphere up there in Tercentenary Sports Hall this evening will be insane. So here we are at Europa Sports Complex, and we'll look down the court for the Australians and be reluctant to change that lineup that was absolute dynamite in that first quarter. Kath Tetley, your thoughts on the opening stanza?
Well, again, they're just letting the ball go with some really lovely angles. So, you know, for those watching at home, they're really drawing them wide. But instead of it being a tricky sort of looping pass, there's almost like a threading through the middle of the pack that the Australians are using. So here you can see Hope White is driving it back for a little reset before they get themselves reorganised. But, off the centre passes, it's so fast. This is a bit of a through court, so that's a bit different. But, from the centre pass releases at the moment, it is just really lovely touch. I'm a fan of Lily Graham, clever player from a clever team. So those three combining at the back is pretty special. And if you're an SSN fan, you'd recognise them all pretty easily.
Of course, there's plenty of Vixens fans all over, certainly Victoria and many other parts of the netball world. And they were all thrilled to see them become premiers in Suncorp Super Netball this year. That one, in the end, is knocked out by Wilkinson. She just didn't have enough leverage there to try and hook that back into play. And so the opportunity will come for Jamaica. So a minute and a half gone in this second quarter. No change to our quarter time score. And I feel like the physicality has just picked up a little bit. And with that can flow some more errors. Akinrin Lola was going to get her hands on the ball, and she is again here now and leaves it up for Shaquan Hamilton, and she goes long, but that's easy pickings for Charlotte Sexton. That was snapped up in no time, and here's White and Drew Packer and Graham Wilkinson. Wilkinson again. Oh, who's that contact on? Roxana McLean. Just a fraction late on the challenge. It will indeed be Wilkinson with this free shot right in front. First goal of our second quarter took 2.5 minutes. Put your coaching hat on, Catherine. What would the message have been to the Jamaican team at the break?
Well, I like that they were slowing that down. They were really upping their intensity. I was really impressed with the circle defense then. That ball is moving really quickly. Triangles, direct post, you name it. There's a little pop out to the front. It is really hard work for them at the back to get themselves in the right position. Just happened then.
And McLean did well and got hands first to that loose ball and did very well. And Shaquan Hamilton was worried about a replay, but contact instead against Hope White. So Jamaica retained possession. DeAndre Edwards calling for her attacking teammates to come forward, and that one from Nikisha Powell is just a little off target, and it's another turnover unfortunately for Jamaica. So here come the green and gold again, and Wilkinson on the right side this time, same result. It comes up from the Australian fans. Must like what they're seeing. Oh, Hamilton with lots of room to work with. It bounced off the post, but just Wilmot could not adjust in time.
Why is that post playing for the Australians? That's two falling in their lap.
Yeah, it's two that have gone their way, and I'm sure you would have loved seeing that bounce pass there from Hope White in transition. Every coach. Well, in fact, coaches must be divided on bounce passes because we still see them used a lot.
We do. I'm just on one side of it. There are plenty that love a good bounce pass, and it's hard not to enjoy Hopes when it's done well. But it does. It slows the game down. You are taking more time. So if that's okay, if that's part of the plan, and you're being creative. But for me, yeah, not my vibe.
There's Akinrin Lola again, and just out of the reach of Casey, and Packer whacks that one out of bounds. She's been active, Kathy. You like what you've seen from Packer in this tournament so far?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Packer the other day, and her closing speed, there it is. wonderful timing for the young defenders at home. Just constantly has her head up searching for ball. So she knows where her player is. She's doing the work to make sure she can either feel it or be within touching distance of her goal attack. But then just has got absolute laser focus on where is ball, I must get ball. And comes up with plenty.
Some changes for Jamaica. Jessica Chaplain has come on at centre. May have seen a change there at goal attack as well, and bring that to you as we move through this quarter. Pretty sure it's Jada Ricketts that's come on at goal attack. So a couple of changes for the Jamaicans. Australia are going to be reluctant to change this line, but we will see. There's a little bit of bib movement over there on the bench, and keep our eyes peeled. And the Australians have had to play 4 pool matches up until this point. 65-36 against Samoa, 69-42 over Scotland, 79-15 over Northern Ireland, 92-25 over Singapore. Just take a little pause while Evelyn Smith is down. She's picked herself up off the floor okay, and we're just going to get a wipe of the floor. Just going to get her straight off by the looks of things, or maybe a bib swap. No, she will indeed go to the bench, and she looks to be moving okay, maybe just a little shaken up.
Evelyn's been nicely in contest too.
Looks like it'll be Edwards that goes back to goal defence, and new wing defence for Jamaica, and I'll show you who that is momentarily. Sexton came out for the challenge, and last off her, throw in Jamaica. Great take, Wilmot. Had a lot of work to do there and hauled it in nicely. Indeed be a change here now for Australia. Hope White to the bench. Another one down for the Aussies.
That's a nice centre pass too. That's a great setup from Jamaica. 0 phase, so that refers to what happens before the centre pass is taken. A 0 phase work is often where all the work is done to set that up. Really nice wide. Unfortunately, just given away to the Aussies. But the start of that was well structured.
Mentioned Hope White went to the bench. Kayla Graham on for her. Of course, another Adelaide Thunderbird player, so wonderful depth that the Aussies can call on. Kayla Graham can come off the bench and replace Hope White.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive bench in all of that those positions there. I'm a big fan of Jauncey, big fan of the Schneiderman, and Kayla, being SSN level experienced athlete, just slipping into that role very, very nicely.
Mentioned new wing defence for Jamaica, and that is Fantonian Henry. So, see what impact she can have. At the moment, it's Australia taking full control. 33 goals to 11, so 12 goals to 2 to begin the second quarter. And Graham and Wilkinson have certainly sorted out any minor issues that they had early in that first quarter, and they're clicking on all cylinders now. And yes, Sexton again, just timing it better than anybody else. And Easy pickings for her.
Anyone with a time machine could go back that 20 seconds, just have a look at the setup that the Australians use there. Just push them all right side. Then, beautifully, Sexton opened up the right side to say, no, it's free, it's available, and gobbled up the intercept.
One from Lily Graham is a little off target for one of the rare occasions this evening. Early evening here in Gibraltar, for those wondering. 25 degrees outside and quite a lovely day, but inside here the netball from Australia has been white hot in the last 20 minutes or so, and Lily Graham helps herself to another. Casey flies that one to Wilkinson, front position again, and she's really dominating that front position, Kath, and the Jamaican defenders at the moment are clutching at straws with ways to come up and stop that.
And what's clever about it is she's not presenting it too early, right? So instead of being there, waiting there, and then setting themselves up for that defence to come through, she's just on the move, moving the feet, changing the angle, and then opens up at the last second after having done the work. So again, you know, just, it's not coming because it's easy. The Jamaicans are actually working really hard, but it just is more being done by the Australians as the ball comes down court. And it's coming down court fast. Really, really difficult for the Jamaican defensive unit.
Couple of goes at it there for Wilkinson, and has a foot out of bounds as she tries to corral that rebound. So here's a Jamaican opportunity about to open up. Oh, tapped out of bounds, or not out of bounds, to her teammates' advantage by Kayla Graham. So Wilkinson just lost the radar temporarily, but bailed out by Lily Graham, her teammate. Good rebound. Left baseline shot, and rattles that one home. Goal number 37 for Australia. Let's see what's going to happen here. It looks like we're going to have some changes for Jamaica, and Jessica Chaplain is going to come back off, and a few positional switches as well. So Evelyn Smith back to goal defence. Henry stays at wing defence. Shaquan Hamilton back on at centre. Changes are plenty for the Jamaicans. See if they can get a couple in a row here. Yeah. Sophie Casey just a little bit too aggressive with her defence there on Hamilton, and two quick ones for Jamaica, and get a bit of momentum from that perhaps. That'll be a replay against Lily Graham, and she knew it as soon as she picked it back up.
This will be exciting if we can turn this into three. Such a shame. 3 in a row would have been nice there. Just a little run on, get some confidence back up.
Lucy Vojvidic said no. Battles there hard against Evelyn Smith. She's back on goal defence, and lovely planting of the feet there from Wilkinson, and knocks that one down.
McLean's just really getting caught on the hip there. You know, she's setting herself up for a really lovely hold in Wilkinson, which is obviously really annoying for the Jamaicans. I would just be saying, just get off that hip a little bit. See if you can get Olivia just moving around. Just don't get sucked into that last moment. Just really sitting on the edge. And then it just opens up into the back space, or what she's been doing, which is a side hold. It's really difficult when you've got yourself really tangled up there.
course, Olivia Wilkinson, West Coast Fever in the Suncorp Super Netball this year, and she'd be getting learning plenty of lessons in practice, no doubt, with some of the defenders that she'd be coming up against just in training, Kath, and Fran Williams and Ariang, among others.
And yeah, there's Janelle Fowler. Hello. With none other than one of the all-time greats at the post, showing her how it's done. And I've no doubt, and what we hear about Janelle is she's absolutely delightful in terms of that training environment and bringing her teammates through. Of course, and Dan. I shouldn't forget about Dan Ryan, the coach. It'd be a pretty special environment for a goal shooter.
Oh, Charlotte Sexton again. The timing denying that goal right before the half-time buzzer. And it's another quarter that falls well and truly Australia's way. It was 21 goals to 9 in the first quarter. 19 goals to 6 in the second quarter. A few words, Kath, before we head off for the long break.
I'm really interested to see what the Australians do with the changes, and Jamaica have got really, really plucky defenders. I mean, they're actually really riding the Australians. So I think maybe if they could have a play with their lineup here, just explore some options and mix it up on the Aussie team.
There's plenty to still be revealed. Only midway through this match, but Australia looking to book a position in the semi-finals once again at a Netball World Youth Cup. Lowest finishes third. They have been tournament champions 4 times. Be looking to put themselves in a position to play off for gold again, but there's still 30 minutes left in this one. Make sure you join us shortly when we bring you the second half here from Gibraltar at the Netball World Youth Cup. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to the Europa Sports Complex. Our third quarter final is halfway done. Australia with a commanding lead against Jamaica. 40 goals to 15, courtesy of a 19 goals to 6 second quarter. Both teams are back out on court just prior to this third quarter getting underway. Like there's going to be a few changes for the Australian team, and we'll run through them as they re-enter the court, but unsure about the Jamaicans at this stage. We'll keep an eye on that. There's some last minute instructions coming from some of the Jamaican coaching staff just to the right of our screen for their attacking end. So trying to unlock the key to getting easily through this defensive back three for Australia. Kath Tetley, how on earth would you go about that?
I think what we talked about before was just you cannot give it time. And so when Jamaica was really just seeing and giving it on the first second, really just ripping the ball down court, it doesn't allow the Australians to get it set too much up in terms of what happens next. The thing that I've actually been impressed with the Australians is that they're actually setting up what intercept they're looking for next. So in light of that, the Jamaicans have to be looking for that. Okay, we need to be keeping our eye out for who's hunting here at the back, who's actually trying to set us up to think that someone is free, and then coming through for the intercept.
Right, we are back underway, and there are changes aplenty for the Australian team, and go through that for you. Lily Graham has shifted to goal shooter. Kayla Graham, not related, at goal attack. Hope White back on at wing attack. Sophie Casey stays at centre. Tabitha Packer moves up the court to wing defence to allow for the introduction of Freddie Schneiderman at goal defence, and Charlotte Sexton remains at goalkeeper. So a couple of changes there. Deandra Edwards is back on wing defence for Jamaica. So here's Smith, who started at goal defence. She remains there. Edwards, who did start at wing defence, finds herself back on at wing defence. So almost back to exactly how they started. Proceedings are Jamaica, and pick up the loose ball here, and there's Ricketts. Ooh, a little strong on that one, but a good rebound from Azara Wilmot.
Can I do a shout out to Jada? Jada Ricketts, 26th, which is tomorrow, her 18th birthday. It's a pretty good day out. I imagine tomorrow will also be a pretty good 18th birthday.
Well, as you get older, you do tend to lose track of the birthdays and how old you turn, but you certainly don't forget when you're 18 or 19, that's for sure. Happy birthday to Jada for tomorrow. Birthday present looking like it might be in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th playoff games. So see how this second half plays out, but we've got an early change, it looks like, here for Jamaica. Obviously didn't get all the changes that they wanted to complete at half time, so those to you in a moment. Wilmot again from under the post. And talking about birthdays, Kath, Azara Wilmot, born on Christmas Day, part of the London Mavericks next gen side, so used to some of the netball in this part of the world, that's for sure. Another one goes down for the Aussies. It's Nikisha Powell back on at goal attack, and Jada Ricketts has switched to wing attack, so positional switch, and Keisha Powell, who started a goal attack, back there. McLean. So just adjusting my lineup sheet here, and with all the changes taking place, it's getting a little messy. So apologies if it takes us a little while in getting those changes to you, and as we continue to learn the names of all these wonderful players from all over the globe. One down for the Aussies, and here is Ricketts again. Gives it up for Powell, and Ricketts finds Wilmot a little more easily this time, and shape to pass, and she'll indeed drop it off for Powell, and makes no mistake. All right, positive start for Jamaica at the start of this quarter. 4 goals apiece. Probably not focusing on trying to win a match now, Kath, but you're looking at a quarter-by-quarter situation.
Yeah, it's now about the little things, and you know that's just an unfortunate commentator's curse drop there for Jamaica. They've regathered, which is great. You just want to be doing the little things well here. What's being made difficult is that the one-on-one pressure is really coming in thick and fast by the Aussie defenders. Just that little tip in over the top is a little example. There it is for the scramble and the low ball. It's hard work. It is really hard work when you can feel people bearing down upon you. That said, do the little things well now. Don't be expecting to necessarily string 3-4 goals together. Just do the little things. Get a 1-2. Bank yours, go for theirs.
Looking all right so far in this third quarter for Jamaica, as Lily Graham defers instead to Kayla Graham. Graham to Graham. Dare say won't be the first or the first time that we call that in this quarter. Some more changes that are going to keep us on our toes, and just a little rotation here amongst the Jamaican back three, and looks like McLean is going to come out goal defence. Smith to wing defence, and Edwards back to goalkeeper, so just a little rotation there.
I think McLean is doing a really great job, so I'm pleased to see that they've actually moved her down further into the court. Moving her from keeper to goal defence gives her the opportunity to just have a crack at more ball and be part of really bringing it down to that second transverse once Jamaica has won the ball back. So good connections, lots of chat actually going on between the players and the coaching staff. So it's good. To answer your question from before, that's a great sign. What are we trying to figure out for tomorrow now? What do we want to do with the ball? And the fact that the players are doing that with the coaches is great.
Lily Graham lines up a shot from right side of the post and converts, adds another to her account. Gets some McLean, like I said, further up the court, and the ball in her hands more. Good positioning, Wilmot there, wasn't it? Had a lot of space and a little bit bigger margin for error than to pass that ball into that area, and really opened up the space really nicely. And talking about opening up the space, there's Lily Graham, and she drops that in off the front of the rim for Australia's 50th. Plays the 20 of Jamaica, so 10-5 midway through this third quarter. And I thought Roxana McLean might have stepped then, but held her ground. Long ball, Hamilton, only as far as the player we affectionately just call Fred. And Johnny on the...
Frederica. But a good flying Freddie is a goal defence that every coach wants. So, and she's done plenty already.
So it's going to be Scarlett Jauncey that enters the game, and I'm not sure whether it's applause for her or whether it's applause for Charlotte Sexton, but either way that'd be justified. Charlotte Sexton outstanding at the back for Australia tonight.
She was just so consistent there, clearly calling the plays, making sure that she was ensuring that that easy ball at the post was not easy in any way. But I'm a huge fan of the Jauncey. And now we've got Freddie out in front and the Packer at wing defence. Very interesting. Very interesting. Be interesting to see what they set up and what the Jamaicans do to come through that.
I was probably asked a similar question with England this morning, and because of the depth, it's really difficult to tell or predict what the actual strongest starting seven might be for some of these teams. And we'll probably see it again when South Africa take to the court next. I'm not actually sure what the strongest starting seven is, but because of the depth that these teams have, they have the versatility to chop and change if things aren't working too well. And
that's how the coaches like it, Andrew.
I'm sure it is.
They do not want you figuring that out, and they do not want their opposition figuring that out either.
I'm sure that may well be the case, but come the semi-finals rolling around tomorrow, we've got absolutely mouth-watering clash of New Zealand against England, and Australia, well, look like they're heading for victory in this one. They will take on the winner of our fourth quarterfinal, which is South Africa and the Cook Islands. So South Africa finished top of Pool D, Cook Islands second in Pool A. So it's like one more semi-finalist to be decided, and Freddie Schneiderman making her impact felt. And see if Lily Graham, it just turns and fires. And I mentioned who is available out there on the court, but of course Grace White, you can see her on the bench in the top left of your screen, unavailable for the remainder of the tournament for Australia. And what sort of impact does her absence have on the team, Kat?
The great thing about Grace is she is a genuine contributor as a human, so she'd be doing her job in the off court. On court, she's really special, and it is a shame for the fans that are here to watch the netball. They won't have. Grace comes from a background in multiple sports, and she found her way and made the decision to choose netball a couple of years ago. That it is quite incredible that she has grown and thrived so quickly in the game. So can I do a little shout out to the home of Tumut, which is where she's from, on the south coast of New South Wales in Australia. A small town, and she has worked really hard to get here.
Did you just say south coast of Australia? Is that what you just said?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All the Tumut people will be jumping up and down.
Okay.
Apologies, Tumut, for that geography faux pas, but
Riverina. Can I correct myself quickly? Okay.
You might get away with that one. I'd have to leave that to the Tumutarians of the world, but digress a little bit. And Tony and Henry's come back on at wing defence for Jamaica. Cash one in there. Here's White again off the draw, and Kayla Graham, and White and Henry clashing bodies, and loose pass on this occasion. So Henry trying to get really close to White and give her minimal room to operate in, but seems to keep finding a way, and just drew some attention away there and allowed Casey to do all the damage on the feed. Powell and Hamilton, and back to Nikisha Powell, and beautiful shot from a 45-degree angle. And
that was great work by Jamaica. Really nice.
That
Saw it.
Yeah, that was slick, wasn't it? And Lily Graham, looks like her work is done as well. She He goes off for a rest, and Jasmine Hayward has come on at goal shooter. So that's all of the Australian bench now, or all of the Australian available players. He's taken the court. That centre pass from Hamilton was, I think Nikisha Powell was zigging when she thought she was zagging, and out over the sideline. There's Henry again. She's making Hope White earn every possession at the moment.
How fun is that battle? It is physical. I love it. Hope not taking a step back. And they're really, really making sure that they are challenging each other on absolutely everything. So I'm going to keep my eye on that one.
Goal for Hayward. Couple for her since her injection into this one. Here she goes again. Same result again. So 60 for the Aussies as we go under 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Well and truly in control now, and we've seen the other tournament big guns fire shots this afternoon. First it was England who disposed of Scotland, then it was New Zealand, very strong against Malawi, and now Australia with their statement. They are putting Jamaica to the sword. 61 now, 22. Under 90 seconds remaining in this championship third quarter.
I like what Hayward's offering. It's a bit different. And look, I'm a huge fan. Jenny Borlase, the Australian assistant coach, is known to many around the world for her shooting prowess with the Australian Diamond. So she's got a really lovely crew of shooters that she's working with here, and she's obviously rung this change, and it's working out nicely.
Nothing wrong with Kayla Graham shooting either. That one goes down. So have a little look over on the Australian bench, and Charlotte Sexton and Lily Graham look fairly comfortable over there. Job might be done for the evening. Keep an eye on that. You never know. Here come Jamaica again. Wilmot. That's well within her range, and knocks another one down right on the siren for three-quarter time. That is 3 quarters in the books now. 64-23. I'll just do a little bit of math. Pouring on the goals in that quarter, Australia. 24 goals to 8 for Jamaica. So certainly not letting their foot off the throttle, and they can spot a semi-final position. Beckons tomorrow afternoon. Give them the day off on Saturday, and then a medal match on Sunday. What colour medal that is will be determined tomorrow, but this has been a very impressive performance so far, and make sure you join us for the last 15 minutes on the other side of this break. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to the Netball World Youth Cup, Gibraltar 2025. We're here at the Europa Sports Complex. 3 quarters gone in this one between Australia and Jamaica, and very impressive Australian team. They are back out on court. They're ready. You see Lucy Vojvidic has come back on at centre. Looks like Freddie Schneiderman has moved to wing defence. Jauncey up to goal defence, and Charlotte Sexton to keeper. Back on at keeper. Hope White at wing attack. Sophie Casey heads to the bench. Kayla Graham. Jasmine Haywood stay in the shooting circle. Oh, good patience for White on that one. See for Jamaica, Roxana McLean has moved back to keeper. Look at the rest of the Jamaican lineup as we move our way through this. Hamilton stays at centre. Akinrinlola stays at wing attack. Sexton keep that in, she could not. Stays at wing defence. Keisha Powell and Zara Wilmot, so looks to be the same for Jamaica. Double check that officially. Evelyn Smith back on at goal defence, so that switch that I mentioned with McLean and Smith, and moving some positions around, and I've already mentioned Akinrinlola, who's back on at wing attack, so very similar to how they started. Ooh, just not quite there in time. McLean tried to come in and underdid the captain, but not quite the timing right there, and Haywood makes no mistake with her shot on goal.
It is interesting that they've brought some players back into positions for Jamaica, and I think, you know, that goes to your question earlier in the game, is what are you preparing for tomorrow? So the fourth quarter here is actually really important. What are those last minutes that you have together before you have to get yourself up and ready for another big game tomorrow, and just consolidating the combo? Good for the coaches, great for the players.
Yeah, most definitely. You want to go out of here tonight with a little bit of, you know, take a little bit of confidence from the fourth quarter, and, you know, carry that through into tomorrow's match. And whether that's New Zealand or the Cook Islands, it will certainly be a tough assignment for Jamaica, but certainly not one that they'll be frightened of in any way, shape or form, or shy away from.
Absolutely not. They are not afraid.
Lovely shot, Nikisha Powell. One figure they'll be trying to avoid their lowest score in a Netball World Youth Cup, 33. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Plenty of time left to get up to that number.
Andrew, they're going to go well past that.
Okay.
Well past. Look at them. They're going for it in this final quarter. They know they need to. They also need to show the coach, I want the bib tomorrow. I want centre. I want wing attack, whatever it happens to be. You know, Henry working so hard. Smith working so hard. These guys are not going away this afternoon. They are absolutely not.
Let's see what sort of oracle you prove to be in about 11 minutes' time. Haywood back to White. Waiting. Graham presents. Oh, good touch, McLean. What a motor Roxana McLean, the captain, has for Jamaica. Just has battle and battle. Up she gets again. She's quite athletic, and we've seen a little bit of her at goal defence and a little bit at wing defence, and back where she started at keeper. And ball has been coming in quick, but she's been disruptive on a number of occasions, and she's really done a good job. That one was a little too hot for Tori Akinrinlola. And it'll be Schneiderman that comes away with it. Through Jauncey and Graham and back to Jauncey, and White spins around to the front. Vidic for Graham. Contact on Smith. Goal, Kayla Graham. So another Australian centre to follow. We've hit the 70 mark. 27 Jamaica, so 43 is the margin currently. Biggest loss for Jamaica, or the largest loss, 47 goals. So that's another number they'll be looking to avoid. But if that number does in fact come to pass, it certainly be nothing to shame. Well, not to be ashamed of that, because this is a red-hot Australian side tonight, isn't it?
It is. It's really interesting to me, the couple of people from Australia that have remained on. You know, Hope White hasn't had much of a rest, and Kayla Graham, I think, is such a multitasking, fabulous netballer. Put her at wing attack, she'll do the job there. Put her at goal attack, she'll do the job there. And no matter who she's been working with, that shooter, she's just changed up her game slightly, depending on what the shooter needs. Do they like holding a post? Is it got a bit of a moving circle feel? Or do I have a huge, big, long goal shooter with a split that just needs more space in the circle? Kayla just seems to be like a chameleon that can just figure it all out. So she's had a ripping night. So no, it's not an easy night at the office for Jamaica. However, have not given up. They have kept grinding. So
they certainly have. Most certainly have. And just a little bit of concern here for Shaquan Hamilton, who is just clutching at her knee there after just hitting the floor, but she appears to be okay. Just making sure that we've got every little bit of that sweat dried up off the floor. I dare not mention anything about mops or anything like that.
You're in big trouble. You are in huge trouble about Mop Man. But actually, you know what we haven't discussed? Sue Gordian, you were asked the other day, who was it that revolutionised mops getting out onto the court? How dare you not give Sue Gordian credit for that? Do not mess with the Gordian.
I have been lectured about that by Anita Navin as well.
Absolutely, that was outrageous.
I've taken my medicine, and next time I see Sue, I will be very, very quick to apologise.
You will.
In the meantime, let's talk about netball and how good Charlotte Sexton's been at the back. She chimes in with another intercept there. Comes via White, and there, speaking of good timing, there's McLean again. I really like the energy that Roxana McLean brings to this Jamaican side, and whoever they come up against in the next couple of days is have to pay very special attention for her, because she is quite the athlete. Almost just apologising to her teammates back down the court, and like, you don't have anything to apologise for, Roxana.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
There's White trying to link up with Hayward, and Vidic and White combine, and then the release from Hayward was very well timed indeed, and if you release at the right time, Hope White will find you. Nikisha Powell thought she was coming off, might have even been looking for a break, and has a little giggle to herself, like, no, you'll be staying on.
Can I just say both teams have also got really great connection with each other. and with their benches. I was just watching Kate Upton before, assistant coach with the Australians. She and Sexton are actually counting and clearly made it clear as to what she's looking for in terms of intercepts and work rate from Sexton. So they're really locked in. And Jamaica there, that was really seamless. It was a look over the bench. Coach understood immediately what was going on, and now they've got fresh legs punched into the game, which is really selfless.
Here comes Hamilton again, and feed to Wilmot was called back in the end and rattles that one home instead. Does Nikisha Powell. So goal number 30 for Jamaica. The margin is indeed 47 as we tick under 6 minutes remaining in this one. A little bit of contact with the post for Haywood, but got a helping hand from McLean, and the mop will be in operation once again.
Sue Gordian testimonial moppage. No, I'm not going to get away with that. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, Sue. I just thought we'd try and take it next level.
Back for a Jamaican centre pass, and Shaquan Hamilton, Keisha Powell, and backfire Edwards, and Hamilton again, and Edwards again, and Keisha Powell again. So that trio eventually combined to get that ball into the pretty safe hands of Azara Wilmot, and she converts another on the bulk of the scoring tonight. What have you liked what you've seen from her, Cap?
I really like Wilmot. Two-hand pull-ins are good. I must admit, I like her front of post. I think, she feels the pressure a little bit of that baseline. So getting Sexton sort of on the side, on the hip, which allows her to then sort of be in front and in front of post. I think she's really comfortable there. I'd be popping it up to her there all day.
Contest, last off Freddie Schneiderman, out of bounds. Jamaican throw in for Deandra Edwards. Goes back to her defensive third and back to the captain McLean, and works hard again to get it again, and tipped out by Kayla Graham. Just on this near side here, right around mid-court, and back to McLean, the captain again, and Henry. Will be a contact this time against Graham. A little late on the challenge. 4 minutes left in this one. Quarter final number 4 is coming up, and that will feature South Africa and the Cook Islands. South Africa, of course, topping their group. Cook Islands second in Pool A, so semi-final position on the line coming up in that one, but need to finish this one off first. There's Graham and White, Haywood, goal. 80 for Australia, 31, 49 the margin. That would be record winning score. McLean, just might have got a little stinger on the hand there, just tries to shake it off. Might even be the shoulder, actually. Getting a bit of rotation back into it. She looks a pretty tough customer, so she looks to be okay. Fling pass in the direction of Akin Ranola. Will be Sexton out of play on this occasion. Another successful attempt for Nikisha Powell, goal number 32. And that is going to see McLean head to the bench. Want to risk the captain for the final 2.5 minutes. Going to need plenty more minutes out of her in the next couple of days. Looks like she's going to hand the captain's patch over to Shaquan Hamilton. shot for Haywood. It's Tiana Reid that's on at goalkeeper for Jamaica. Deflections everywhere. Ends up with Powell. Hamilton. Edwards and Hamilton. Back to Powell again and rattles that one home, and a little bit of fist clenching going on in the arena as goal number
Never
33
in doubt.
drops down.
Never in doubt. Good job, Jamaica.
Still need another. Cross court to Vojvidic. Kayla Graham just rides the bump from Deandra Edwards, and timing from Reid. Fresh legs on the court. Almost frustrated with herself, I think, that she just got the distance wrong because the timing was spot on. Hamilton. Back to Edwards and knocked out of bounds by Fred. Been very active since her introduction. I saw her initially at goal defence, but don't mind her at wing defence either. Ooh, that one's plucked away by Sexton. Schneiderman and White, threads the needle. Great pass in the direction of Kayla Graham via Hope White. Centre coming up for Vojvidic. White, Schneiderman. A two-person game. Almost like Australia are practicing a little bit of running the clock down here. I think that's exactly what might be happening. White, Vojvidic, Haywood. Little glance at the clock behind the Jamaican goal and drops goal number 85 in for Australia. And let's see if Jamaica can steal a late one. They will not. And that will see us through here at the Europa Sports Complex quarter-final number 3. Australia with a very impressive victory. 21 goals to 10 in that fourth quarter. Quick paragraph from you, Kath, on that one.
Yeah, I think lots of tidying up going on for both teams today. Even that last passage of play by the Australians is, can we execute when we need to? Clearly a call from the bench, work the clock down and make sure that they had control of that last minute. So, look, no, it's not about the scoreboard today. It was about combinations. So, and there's some pretty delightful combinations. That Jamaican defensive unit, good fun to watch. That they are definitely going to be a force to reckon with.
Certainly are, and Australia have booked their semi-final spot. Who they play will be decided shortly, but we will hear from Sophie Casey, the Australian captain.
We did. We came into it prepared. Thankfully, we had a rest day yesterday, so we were able to analyse Jamaica's game and come out and play our own, and I'm glad that we were able to execute.
And obviously the win, huge congratulations, and you move into the semi-finals now, which I guess is the aim.
We do, yes. We're slowly ticking games off. We are just focusing on one at a time, so we'll have a look and see who we're playing tomorrow. I think it's South Africa by the looks of things, but yeah, just one at a time and hopefully get into that gold medal match and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see who are the winners of the next match. So it's a bit of a waiting game, but I guess you're just going to look forward to it now.
Exactly, very much. Yeah, we'll rest and recover and then watch the next game and see what happens from there.
Well, I'll let you get back to your team. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
And we will be back very shortly with that final quarter-final here at the Europa Sports Centre. So stay tuned for that.
we gotta show the world with all the courage of a conqueror. So take a deep breath and dare to believe it. I know you don't